Good morning, everybody. Hope we're all well and safe and healthy on this fantastic Thursday morning in March. It's amazing how time flies. It was like yesterday we had the end of the year and celebrated the new year, and now we're already in the first quarter of the year, almost finished. But brilliant to have so many people joining us today. We've got quite a big audience of 155 people today. Fantastic for us as Rikko International to have so many people that's going to listen to us today. The purpose of the session today is really to enlighten you more on the current systems that we have launched. They are made aware of the Octopus system, the technical support system, and then also the iLearn, the sales and technical learning portal. We honor today by having the two owners of these systems with us, Alex Koremans and Ron Scalafis, Alex being in control of the Octopus system and Ron the iLearn online training portal. So very honored to have these two gentlemen. They've been busy with the development right from the start and managing all the processes around that. So they have got an abundant amount of knowledge on the systems. So I'm not going to take too much time away from them, and I would like to hand over to Alex to take us from the first session on the Octopus system. Thank you very much, Alex.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you, first of all, Bram, for inviting me for this session. I hope you can see my presentation right now.
Yes, we can, Alex.
You can? Okay, great. And I'll switch. Thank you very much. So my name is Alex Koremans, responsible for strategy and operations, Rikko Europe, PSSC, product and solution support. So we've got a team of 35 specialists working together with Bram's team to support all of the distributors, but also our operating companies, of course, with quality issues that are escalated to Rikko Europe. And from our side, we will then fix that. We've got developers in-house, and if we can't fix it, then we will escalate those issues to the manufacturers or Rikko Japan. So it's my pleasure to give you an introduction on Octopus, our new platform. And you might have seen the notification on myrikko.com, where we are now redirecting the users. First of all, something about the background, why we are changing to the new platform. So the new global strategy is to switch to primarily Microsoft environment. So we were forced to switch to this new platform, which is now in progress. So last year we have been developing a totally new platform based on SharePoint, and currently, since last week, we are redirecting the users to this new platform. So for you guys, it's important to select the Rikko International link, which is here, and for learning, Ron will come back to you a little bit later with more details. But we are redirecting users now to the new environment. Now I know there is some issues with onboarding on this new platform, Octopus. That has to do with the various Microsoft accounts we encounter of the organizations we are onboarding. So I can assure you IT is now, as we speak, busy to create some fixes to resolve some of the onboarding issues on this new platform. For you, it's important to click on the link. If you're a partner from Rikko International, click here and you will be redirected to the actual Octopus site. It's a new platform, and there's a couple of advantages in this new platform which I would like to share with you. So first, I'll give you a little bit of outline on the platform overview, strategic importance, the GUI, and then I will give you a couple of practical examples on how you can work with the platform. We've spent a lot of time with the operating companies and field engineers to assure the search function is optimized and will save you a lot of time finding the appropriate information on the platform. That was our aim, because we had a lot of field engineers spending a lot of time finding appropriate information. So Octopus is the new service and support information portal and replacement for myrikko.com. Will give you access to all essential information, a little bit more than we had on myrikko.com. Several links to other platforms that are useful for field engineers. Some you might not be familiar with, but we will definitely make sure you get familiar with the new functions on Octopus. The information on the platform is maintained by a team of experts, and to use Octopus, users must be an employee of Rikko or a authorized distributor or dealer. Access permissions are organized by Rikko Internationals, and user needs to agree with terms and conditions.
Hey, Alex, sorry for interrupting. As your slide, are you changing the slides?
I have just changed my slide. Yeah.
It's not. There we go. Okay.
Can you see anything right now?
Yeah. So the slides is out of presentation mode.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to go to the appropriate slide right now. If I go back, is this better?
Yep. So I'll just warn you if the slides doesn't change. It looks like the slides that don't progress when you click on next.
Okay. Can you see the animation right now?
Yep.
So we have a larger view of the redirects. I'm actually just want to go. Yep. Did you see that in my presentation?
I can see that.
So the link to click, and I'm now changing my slide to the topics of the presentation.
Perfect. It's working now.
Better now? Okay, so
yes, thank you.
This was the introduction, just a quick overview of the outline of Octopus. The platform is quite complex. We've got an internal server, external server, but the most important part is we are centrally managing the information for you guys. So all of the information will be real-time available for all of our partners, and we're interfacing also with RCL to make sure there's no time delays in the information that we will distribute. So the actual access permissions are managed by Rikko International BV for you guys, and we can filter the access to specific information. But in principle, all information for the products that you're selling and servicing will be shared with you on the Octopus platform. One of the advantages of Octopus is we can use mobile devices to quickly find the information you're looking for. Strategic importance, important for our service efficiency. It's a all-in-one portal which gives links to various important information sources for service, and we have really focused on the quick search functionality. Also, it will definitely contribute to product performance. Our field engineers should be aware of all of the technical information relevant for their products. There is an alert function on the system that you can set, and it will actually inform you on the new technical information available for specific products that you're in charge of. Also, for our business transformation, there's a lot of new services and products that we are launching from Rikko Europe and Rikko International BV. So it's quite scalable, and we will be able to incorporate new lines of business and other products as well. This is the overview of Octopus. I'll show you some of the functions in a second, but this is the quick overview. So we've got access to firmware, the latest firmware available. We've got ARMS for remote access and remote diagnostics. The global knowledge management database, which is maintained by all regions from Rikko, all regions all over the world. They're all contributing to the knowledge on this particular platform. We've got a documentation archive, which is containing all of the older information for older products, the user manuals, user guide from Octopus, including some videos, drivers, and a configurator. So I'm going to just quickly show you some of the functions that we have available on the system. There is one of the advantages of Octopus is the indexed content search, which basically indexes all of the individual text in the technical documentation. This will allow a user to quickly find the actual information he is looking for. So this shows you if you want to search for ACT, it will definitely come up with documents giving you more information on how to activate ACT, for example. Just one example. Another example is on the fly translation. If you have an Office 365 account, most of the documentation is in English if it comes to technical bulletins, but you can quickly translate that information to your local language. And most of the, actually all of the European languages are available, not only European languages, by the way, but it's really quick and fast, and it will translate quite accurately to your local language. Well understandable. Might not be perfect, but it's a very big help for field engineers that do have an Office 365 account for translation. If you just have a Microsoft account, this function will not be enabled. Another function is information for one product. If you want to find all of the information required for the product you're servicing, you can quickly go through and enter the model. Once you've selected the model, it will come back with all of the particular information available on the platform for that particular model. You can then drill down and go to specific publication types. If you want to look for firmware, you click on firmware, operating instructions, or technical bulletins. So that goes really fast and will help you to quickly find what's available for that particular product. For firmware, that's all relevant and recent firmware is available and published on this platform. But there's also a button firmware where you can go for the older products. So actually they're available within Octopus, the publications itself, and there is a link to a central server, global server, where you can find the, let's say, older firmware. And this is the link to the global firmware server where you can find the particular firmware for older products. Then there's the link to ARMS, which is a powerful tool. It's not used by everybody at this stage, but we are actually promoting this. This will give you a lot of useful information on diagnostics of the device, what parts need attention, and also what firmware needs to be updated, assuming the device is, of course, connected to at remote. This tool will then use that data and additional data, technical guidance, to give specific information on particular products. Then we have the knowledge database, global knowledge database, very useful tool. You can search all of the solutions offered by other regions and found by engineers from other regions to fix your issues. It will also include SC codes, image quality issues, jam information, and resolutions. It's a very powerful platform, globally used. And then we go to the next one. It's the archive for the older documentation. If you click here, you can type in really old models, and you will definitely find the information for that. So you can search on design name, model code, or model name. It will come back with old documentation that we have not indexed because it's barely used, but still available.
Yeah, Alex, I have a few people asking to slow down the speed a bit. They don't have time to see exactly what's happening on the slide. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. And if it comes to the drivers, you can link to the global site, and we have a product configurator, which is, by the way, on the platform Ron will also present in a second. But we have incorporated a link to the product configurator where you can find the particular models, what kind of options are available, external options, and also the internal options for those particular products which are relevant for your support teams and field engineers.
We have a question, Alex. What is your definition of an older model?
So what we have done is we have looked at the total MIF over Europe. We have analyzed the number of visits that we still conduct within the Rikko family group on those products. And we have identified that it's in principle the products that are 6-7 years old are fading out. So we have very little visits or rapidly reducing number of visits on those products. So we've decided to publish all relevant information based on analysis of actual service visits provided by all of the Rikko operations. And for the older products, we have not published the information in the actual index content, but you can go to an archive where we have still stored the documentation. Does that answer your question? Okay. Then within Octopus,
thank you.
All right. Within Octopus, there is a end user guide with video tutorials. I just showed you a few, but there's quite extensive number of video tutorials that can help you how to best search on the platform, and what kind of filters you can incorporate or refiners you can use to go to the to find the actual information. In addition to this, we are working on a training module because this is actually quite self-explanatory, but it will be good, I think, for field engineers to have a kind of training module, so we are sure and certain they understand and have seen the tutorials how to operate the platform. So this is something we are also promoting. The status as of March, we rolled out to 11,000 field engineers in the EMEA region with direct and partner organizations. We are still working on some improvements on the authentication and proxy issues. Like I just explained, there's quite some different Microsoft accounts, and we did not anticipate on some specific environments that we need to facilitate. So we are working with IT to fix that particular part. And like I said, we're working on a training module that will be hosted on the platform that Ron will introduce to you in a second. And we will definitely survey the community, obtain your feedback on improvements and suggestions. And definitely we will embed a link and promotion of Octopus and Rises on the various sites and platforms that we currently have. So that's an introduction to Octopus. If there's any questions, feel free to launch them, so I can answer those. Please go ahead. Otherwise, Bram, if there's time, end of the session, that's also fine.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. So I don't see any more additional questions in the question section.
Yeah,
did
I
have
do
one
have
question.
a question.
Okay, do you have? Okay, Paul. So I saw one that I just want to answer quickly. Sorry, Paul. So we will be sharing the presentation and the recording in a follow-up email after the session. You will get all the information that we shared today in the follow-up email.
With a survey also that we would be very happy if you could answer it. I do have a question from Stavros Balis. Is there a support button to click when we face an issue inside the platform?
There's actually a function to report issues and also where we capture suggestions from the community. That's the contact button at the bottom of the page. And if you click that, you can submit suggestions or questions about the Octopus platform.
Thank you. We have another question from Alexander Proshenko. On Apollo, we see the list of added and modified records. Is it possible to see the same on Octopus?
Yes, correct. So in Octopus, you can set an alert. So if you want to be informed on, let's say, the information that is newly released for particular new products, technical bulletins or service manuals, you can set an alert and you will get an email notification on any new publication. You can also set the interval. So if you prefer to have that every day or every week, you can receive an email on all new information that's published.
Okay, we have how can we manage our users from Daniel Nizim?
That's a very good point. So in principle, the users are managed by Riko International BV. So we will manage the, let's say, who has access for each organization.
Okay. Another question from Alexander. In the search criteria, we cannot choose to sort by date.
There is a function to sort by date. I will provide that information later, but just besides the search box, you can select if you want to see the records by relevance and by some other parameters I don't know by heart. But as far as I know, you can also select by date.
Okay,
and there is a refiner at the bottom of the left-hand side. There's a refiner where you can set the information released last week, last month, or per time frame. So there's some options for that, which are explained in the tutorials.
Okay. Another question. Sorry, they're coming very fast. Okay. We have an error when we're trying to access the firmware. So we have a few people commenting on activation issues. So for this is not the purpose of the session. What I recommend for this is either to send a mail to the service delivery address that you are familiar with, or to contact directly your service account manager, and we will take care of it and ensure that you get access as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Paul, I can just add to that. In conjunction with Riko Europe and Riko IT, we are working on a program to sort out all partners with their current problems with accessing rights, and also having certain of the functionality not working. So we will communicate within this week to all partners having troubles. What is our next steps on assisting them with a Teams type session where we can physically face-to-face help them get through the problems.
I have a very good question from Salah. What about the charge? Is it free?
Nothing is free in life, eh? Alex, I can answer this one. Yeah, there's let's put it this way. So there's no change to any of the charges to the two systems. So for MyRico, the charge that was relevant to the MyRico, it covers this system as well. So that stays the same, the charge to the partners. No additional cost, no.
A question from Peter. How are you going to manage the people that have to register on personal email address due to Office 365 accounts?
That's a very good point, and that's currently something we are discussing with IT to see how we can facilitate that. In principle, we prefer users to use their corporate accounts, but for exceptional situations, we're discussing with IT how to manage that. Good point.
So a good question. If we don't have 365 account, what happens then?
It's not an issue, because you either need a Microsoft account or Office 365 account. The added value of a 365 account, Office 365 account, is you have the translation functionality. But in principle, just a Microsoft account is sufficient to access the platform.
Okay, another question from Peter. Is Octopus not going to be managed at all on a local basis?
I'm not sure if I understand that question correctly.
I think I understand it, Alex. So, Peter, yes, it will be managed on local basis with the partners that has local administrators, similar to they had with the MyRico system. Not all of our partners have this facility because of the size of the partners, but yes, in the case of Nashua, you will be able to manage it, the administration side on a local level.
Okay, so I have a few questions about logging in again. So, where am I? So for all the people that are asking about connection, please contact your service account manager, service delivery manager, or the service delivery email, and we will support you. A question from Zemak. Is there online support for Octopus?
There's no online support. You can just submit the tickets, and then we'll handle those tickets of any suggestions or issues you might encounter.
Okay. And another question, can we check Riko stock parts availability via Octopus?
Unfortunately, that is not through Octopus, but that might be perhaps another platform that Riko International offers. I'm not sure, Bram.
Yeah, that's not something that we don't have access to that information now.
Another question from Rizwan, will a search option be available? Yes. I think that's all the question. If you have another question, please please engage with us.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. And just to round up there, thank you very much, everybody, for the questions. We really appreciate the interaction. It's always nice to be able to do live feedback. I understand that we're having currently quite a lot of issues with registration, login, and certain functionality not working. Please send us an email on service.delivery@rico-international.com, and we will get back to you straight away with the route to follow to try and assist to solve the problems. We are working very closely with Alex and the team, and also the Rico IT team, to get rid of all these let's say these teething problems before we officially go live on the 1st of April, so that we have a much more stable and usable system. So please engage with us. The whole team is ready to assist you.
Thank you, Bram.
Yes. Another last question from Alexander. Is it possible to change the authentication method to push messages?
I'm not sure what is actually the question. The authentication system to send messages. Okay, I think we need some more detail on that. So
yeah, Alexander, please contact your service account manager, and he will come back to you with an answer. I will put, following a few requests, I will put in the chat box the service delivery emails that I mentioned, so you can write to them, and you have all the information. So this service delivery email, to answer a few questions, will be in the chat.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, everybody. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to Ron Scalafus. I'm just going to change him to become the next presenter. So Ron, I made you the presenter. If you can please share your screen for us. And Alex, you can go off camera if you want to.
Okay. Can you see my presentation, Bram?
Yes, perfect. Thanks, Ron.
And does it move to the next slide now?
Yep, all working.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity, Bram, and welcome everybody. I want to present why we and what we are actually changing towards. We wanted a new learning management system, and we needed that really. And we needed one that kept up to date with the latest learning technology and trends. Because we see that more and more, let's say, big classroom training is going away, that's disappearing. Also, sales and service needs e-learning, video, on-the-job training, and we needed a platform to support all those new training methodologies. Future-proof was actually key. Part of that is that Rico is expanding its portfolio really rapidly. So Office and CIP training in the past was our core business, but with the direction of ITS and other communication services, we want to also be able to purchase training from other vendors and actually put that on our system. And for that reason, we needed a platform that actually supports industry standard training that we just can copy from a vendor. So we can buy training rather than create it ourselves. That's one of the main reasons why we needed to move to a new platform. Also, this platform comes with quarterly updates. So every 3 months, we will have new features. So when we built MyRico, we haven't invested in that for quite some time, because it's really quite a time and money investment. But with this technology, you will get the latest technology all the time, because this platform has many other customers, many major accounts as well. So as I mentioned, third-party content is really important. And also we want to be able to integrate with other platforms. So platforms that connect with our platform to get training in, rather than creating it ourselves. So if I want to keep that short, scalable is important. We need to be able to support all businesses. It must be secure. Also, with this in this world, it's really important that we stay secure. And now we have actually outsourced that responsibility to a team that's on that all the time. Simple and intuitive. So the navigation should be intuitive, and the whole system should be simple to use. Develop people. So we know that in our core business, the traditional core, the machines are getting much more reliable. The amount of service visits is going down. So we need to educate people for the new businesses. And of course, strong reporting. That is really important. So we came up with this system, which is built on a Cornerstone platform. Cornerstone is industry leader in this technology. And because of that, we were a fresh customer, so we could start with the latest version of Cornerstone. The carousels that are shown we call these carousels, these little icons that they can move left to right, like you watch Netflix. Those carousels are populated with training, so shown to the learner, depending on what you're interested in, like what you do with Netflix. People with similar interests, but also star rating. So that's also something like this configurator that Alex just showed. People like it, give us stars, or don't like it, and that's good information for us. And also in the lower left corner, we can see assignments. So if you want to assign training to all your CIP specialists, it's just 2 or 3 mouse clicks, and they have it all in their inbox, and they receive a mail with an end date, a target date for the training, and they can start actually doing that training. And you can report on that. Like I said, on Learner Home, you can add topics on the left side, but also if you start, you get in the middle of the screen, you get add topics reminder. So please add your topics. What are you interested in? It shows you the training record headlines, including assigned learning. So what are you assigned to? In this case, it's an instructor-led training, and personalized carousels. So important is to identify your topics when you start in this platform. I already talked about training assignments. I think it's more powerful than what we had on this. So you can actually gather a list of email addresses, and you load it into the system, and then this system assigns it, sends everybody a mail. You have a little dashboard for that assignment, so you can see how many people started, how many people completed it. And also with the reporting tools that we have, you can actually report on the results as well and share that in an Excel format. In the lower left, lower right corner, you see the assignment. It's like a wizard-driven exercise. So you set it up, you give some options about what mail notification you want to send, when the schedule is, when is it completed, when do you want to start it, and the screen you're seeing here now is how to select users. So you can select an individual user, or you can just upload a complete file with people that need to complete that training. And then on the top right corner, you see the little dashboard that shows you that you assigned a training to 365 users, and you get a graph of how many people completed this. So first of all, personalized carousels, very Netflix type of interface. You can see your training record, everything you've completed, or everything that you're working on. And also you can have, there's a lot of search capabilities, so you can search by star rating or on topic, or anything you can think of. Important to realize, and also at the end of the presentation, I will mention that again, that the content from MyRico is migrated already, but the results from MyRico will be migrated after we shut down the exam system of MyRico. So we wait until the last exams have been completed on the 1st of April, and then we start migrating the results for the users. One of the things we've done over the last month is actually copy all the users into the new system, make sure that they have the similar access. One thing we still have to do is copy the results of those users But in the future, every user that was on my Riko and was active, all the active users have been migrated, and the completions are migrated actually next month or in a couple of weeks' time. We are not 100% finished. System is up and running, and so far looking good. The development areas that we had on my Riko will be changed. We have a slightly different mechanism, a slightly different process, and you can see that on the right. This is an example of a development area now in a new system. It is still a journey. We call it a pathway. So you go through all the tests and all the learning to be CIP certified. That will be built in the next couple of weeks. We start with one CIP and an office development area we now call development pathways. Also next, my Riko exams will be stopped from the 1st of April. So the last exam date is the 31st of March. And that's to make sure that we can start migrating the exams in the first week of April to the new system. So all the learners and all your engineers can see their results back. The reporting is already available, but we will keep the my Riko reporting open in April. So if you still want to archive some information, you want to run reports on who used it, and you can still do that in the month of April. The plan is to switch off my Riko from the 1st of May. That could be later in case we want to, but the plan is not to keep both systems open. From Alex's team and as well as my team are not updating my Riko anymore. Just to show you a little, give you a little demonstration of the platform itself. It is secure, it nearly locked me out. This is the platform. The first thing you see here on the big carousel is the user guide and a privacy statement. The privacy statement will disappear later. Like Alex showed, the configurator page is shown, but we have a lot of other carousels that will be populated the more I specify my topics. So on the top left screen, I can specify what I'm interested in. I can just browse. Oh, I still have to, I think I have to log in. I was logged out. Browsing through my topics. Yeah, that's better. I can go through the platform, look at Riko products and services. If I'm interested in large format or CIP cut sheet, I can specify that. And with that, the system is going to populate my carousels, and I can browse through them and start the training. And so one of the important areas is the assigned training. To me, nothing is assigned with a date. But as you are some of you are managers on the system, you can assign training with a due date, and you can monitor that. That's why there are tools for administration and also for like the learning administration. And with the learning assignment tool, we can actually monitor the training results. Give you some examples. This is, by the way, on the live system. So we have an assignment like here. We see that this team assigned training to 365 users, and we see that 65 users completed the training and 390 didn't start yet. So those assignments are relatively easy to create. It's just a wizard type of training. You go through a wizard, you set up the assignment, you select the training, you select what kind of mail you want to send through the system. Another important area is for the learners, the training records, where the learners can see what they're working on and what they've completed, and also what they don't want to see anymore. They can put it in an archived section. So we think we got a real state-of-the-art new system now, which gives us a lot of potential for the future, and we can build on this.
Thank you, Ron. I have a question from Kaleshi. Would e-certificates or badges or e-certification tags be issued to users after completion of development pathways?
Yes, that's a very good question, and I can answer a yes here. So this system allows us that after somebody passed the complete certification, they can print out the certificate. Yes.
Good. Another question from Peter Neffeling. Do you have guidelines on what the development pathways are going to be? We have based our partner programs on the development areas of MyRico, and obviously we now need to change the data in this program. Having some insight will assist. Thank you.
Yeah, I understand that, Peter. What we try to create is almost a similar experience. What we built MyRico around the development areas strategy, and we had to change that. We are not going to adapt the system to our development areas, but what we have a couple of things that we want to guarantee. One is that if you pass the development area in MyRico, after we've built a new one, you've passed it again. So the exams are actually measured and taken into account, and also the structure will not be very different from MyRico. But it will take a couple of weeks after the migration of the content. We now are building those development areas, and they will be very much aligned to begin with. And then over the, let's say, the next months, we will build it out to be something more. Actually, we can actually change it like we did with the development areas in the past. So every 6 months we will revise. Peter, can I ask you a question? Can you please send that in a mail to me? Because I'm discussing this with the business, and if that's a real requirement from you, Peter, please send me a mail with that. I think you still know my email address. But we are trying to, yeah, okay.
Another question, do you delegate to distributor the administration right?
We can, that's up to, actually, like Bram said, that's the same as what we did with MyRico. So Paulo Bout and Bram and Laura are actually working on that.
Yeah, we will communicate to the partners as to the administration rights at partner level. Yeah.
So we try to give at least a similar functionality.
Yeah.
For Stavros, a message from Anna. She will update you. I don't see. We have another question. Do you delegate to distributors the administration right as before?
Yes,
yeah. As before.
Very good. So I don't see any important question. So one comment from Stefanos: iLearn system seems to be very slow in response compared to MyRico. Is it normal?
It is slightly heavier. I personally don't have that problem. But if the internet connection is less, let's say, you need a little bit faster internet connection. It's heavier than MyRico was. We are aware of that.
Thank you. I don't see any other question for now.
I think maybe from my side, Ron, if we can quickly touch on the reporting in the iLearn, it would really be nice just to show the reporting capabilities.
Yeah, that's, sorry, I nearly forgot that, and I'm working on it. That's actually all day. The reporting, there are actually a lot of areas. We have standard reports, reporting 2.0. Standard reports is rolled out to everybody that has reporting access with the information I received. I'll just give you one example. Track employees is a very nice report. Let me quickly show you something. You can browse through a training title, and I don't think we'll have a lot of data here. So maybe it's not the right account to show you this, but it may be a bit confusing. I'm changing to another account where I can show a lot of data. So I'm going to log out and log in as with an admin role. So forgive me for making this a bit confusing. But at least I can show you more data. My screen turns red now, so don't pay attention to that. This is just another platform. So one of the reports I showed you was, I wanted to show is this one. I can specify the date range. Let's take 1 year. Select the training title. And the type of training. Normally we do curriculum. Okay. I get now a automatic graph, and also in the bottom, only 2 users actually have it. So this is also not a great example. But I can export now to Excel, but I can also use the graph to filter. So if I want to filter who passed, I can click on the graph, and you see now I have a list of only people that passed, and I can export that to Excel. So this is a nice user interface to quickly get a report, and that's called standard reporting. So you find it under standard reports. On reporting 2.0, which is the newest reporting interface from Cornerstone. They're still developing everything, so they never stop developing. I created these admin reports that I shared with the community, with a lot of people. For instance, to measure the last login date, there are 2 versions. So you can go to the right and export directly to Excel file, but you can also click on the title, and then you got filtering options already. It will take a while because I'm administrator. But one of the filters that I made available in this report is if you just want to filter on one division. So if I want to filter on, let's say, all the OPCO partners from RIBV, I can do that. And I can run a report on that. And I can now download it on the right. So with my report that I download now as an Excel file, I can see how many people actually logged in from RIBV. So it's very quickly. It's not extremely intuitive. I see that a lot of people have to get used to it. My Rikko was just a little bit easier to use, but it is powerful, and it's changing and improving all the time. I get more and more capabilities in the reporting, and that's nice about this solution. So quickly share with you that report in Excel that I just downloaded. And you can see that these are the people that logged in and are users of RIBV, but I'm not going to show you that much detail. But you saw that it is relatively easy to filter, and there are more controls that we will give depending on the type of report. But it's powerful reporting, and it's continuously evolving and giving more functionality. Was that okay, Bram?
Yeah, Ron, just maybe a question from my side on behalf of the partners. At the admin level, will the partners be able to create their own reports for their own business requirements if they were personalized reports?
Yeah, we're working on that, Bram.
Okay.
The creation of the reports, you almost have to know how the training is designed. So we will probably first have to develop a training for that. So we're looking at that. It is not that easy. It is quite a complex.
So if a partner has a specific requirement, can he have access to your team to create a report on their behalf?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we can ask if the partners do have a specific report they would like to see, that you guys can then develop that for them.
Yeah. Normally those reports are required by multiple organizations.
Yeah.
So we'll probably prioritize them. But yeah, we will take a look at the feedback we get around reporting. We'll create whatever comes up as high priority. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. I would like you to play a role in that to gather that information, please.
Thank you, sir. Paul, is there any other outstanding questions that we need to answer?
Yes. So if people have suggestions about iLearn, are they able to suggest them? And is there a contact button like Octopus or something similar?
We would like you to work through Bram and his team with requests.
Yeah.
We've deployed this system over 22 opcos in Europe, but also Asia Pacific. So there's a lot of requests all over the world. So we would like to work with key persons in the organization, in our own organization, to collect that information.
Yeah. So for the partners, I think we can discuss that with Paulo Bout, will be the main contact for you, or any suggestions or challenges that you're experiencing with the iLearn portal. We can channel it through Paulo.
Another question from Alexander. Do you have the glossary list of terms on iLearn platform?
I'm working on it. I see more and more a need to do that. We will share it on the platform itself. Yeah, because it's a complete new vocabulary. It's confusing. We understand. Working on it.
Thank you. Any other question? Please feel free to ask. I see two hands raised, Syed and Jibim. Maybe you can write your question in the chat, as all the attendees are muted. We would gladly answer your question if you put it in the chat.
Well, Paul, we can also unmute them and then ask them to voice the question. So I'll unmute Jibin, if that works. No. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working on your side, Jibin. If you can please ask the question in the question section.
A question is coming in from Nikolai. Is there cross-reference table as in MyRico?
It's not, no. It's not part of the learning side. You're talking about the product name versus design name and things like that. Is that a cross-reference?
Yeah, I think
yes.
That's the question. Yeah.
This is the Nikolai feedback.
If Alex is still on the line, is that available in Octopus?
Yeah, I think can you hear me, Bram?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
So in Octopus, if you go to the archive, you will see an overview cross-reference lists of all of the models and the different brand names as well. So that's available, but it's you really have to go to the archive section in Octopus. There's an overview.
I saw that when you showed the archive section earlier. Will that also include the newer models or only old models?
That's a good point. We will add also newer models because they will be archived at a certain moment in time. Yeah, that's a good point.
So all models must be in the archive on that cross-reference list. Yeah.
Bram, if they send an email to service delivery, I know Laura has a really up-to-date list because we shared it last week with a partner. Okay.
But I think if it's online as well, Paul, it's much easier retrievable by people, so they don't have to wait for it. But yeah, that's as a secondary option. Yeah, we can also share a list that we have. Okay, so what I'll do, if there's no further questions, Ron, I'll make myself presenter again. Thank you very much.
No more questions. One last question coming. I'm a department manager. Can I assign trainings to my department staff, even if I am not the administrator? Probably not.
That possibility is part of the functionality. I'm not really sure if this partner has been set up like that. I think you have to ask Paulo if we can set it up like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Paul. I think what we'll do as well as a courtesy to all the partners, that all the questions that has been asked, we will put that into the feedback as well, that the questions and the answers, that all partners have the visibility on that as well. Then, yeah, we've got 5 minutes left of this, and I would like to wrap it up and then again just thank all the participants for attending. We really appreciate that you're taking time to explore with us the new systems that's available for yourselves in the support and the learning facets of your business. And if there's any suggestions or challenges or questions, please feel free to post them to us on the service.delivery email address, and we will get to them straight away and answer you on those. As Alex mentioned, on the Octopus side, they're working on the training guideline, which I think will be a very nice value add in the training portal for the engineers to be made more familiar with the operation of Octopus, how it works and what the benefits are of the system. So really looking forward to that module to be available to all our partners and ourselves. And on the iLearn, I think it's really a fantastic platform. I've played around with it myself a little bit. You very quickly get used to the operation of it. It's the latest technology, state-of-the-art technology, and it's future-proof, as Ron mentioned, which is in line with the business of Riko, going into multiple facets of lines of business, and not only more just the printing business. So if there's no further questions, I would like to thank Ron and Alex. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for sharing with us the overview of the two platforms today. We really appreciate your assistance on this matter, and looking forward to enhancing the platforms to the partners going forward.
I do have a question regarding Polo Boot email address. I'm putting it in the chat for the entire audience.
Okay, thanks. So we'll also add that to the feedback as well. The necessary email addresses to reach us, and clarify that as well.
Thank you, Bram.
Thanks, Paul, and thank you, Paul, for driving the questions for us. And again, thank you very much to the audience for the questions. We really appreciate it. It makes the session more interactive, and we also get a better understanding of your challenges. And we're looking forward to the new systems and working with you on making them as part of your business and integrate them into your business as good as possible with as least problems as possible. On that note, I'm wishing you a fantastic day and hope to speak to you all soon again. Everybody enjoy. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you, Bram.
Thank you, Bram.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Ron, for
Thank you, Bram.
assisting.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye,
Paul.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.